Hey guys, it is J Star Wars 360 here with, for once, some Star Wars news, as my namesake goes. In case you don't know, some big Star Wars news got announced today. But before I get into it, I just want to briefly touch on my thoughts on the expanded universe since some people probably want to know that real quick. Just as sad as I am to see a bunch of awesome Star Wars lore not be canon, it's nice that we have some consistency. And again, some of it's still canon, like anything referenced in the Clone Wars, like Darth Bane is canon. And for those of you who are upset about this awesome stuff post Episode 6 that's no longer canon, just pretend there's like the timeline splits after Episode 6, and that there's two timelines. There's the timeline of the new movies, and there's the timeline of the expanded universe. Although that's a consolidation. But yes, I am a little upset that some stuff isn't canon. But again, we can't discuss that right now. We have to get into the big news, which I'm going to have a link to in the description in case you don't know about it. But the cast for Star Wars Episode 7 got announced today. And there's a bunch of actors in. Actually, let me bring up the article right now so I can just read off the cast real quick. But there's some things that surprised me and other things that did. First, let's start with the obvious. We have the original cast returning for the most part, which consists of Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo, Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia, Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, who are C-3PO and R2-D2, and Peter Matthew, who is Chewie. And then we also have some new actors: John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Domhnall Gleeson, and Max von Sydow. And I'm here to give you my thoughts on it. Well, first off, let me just say this. I'm really surprised they decide to announce this news now. Because May the 4th is this Sunday, and I think, what better time to announce Star Wars news than on a day, Star Wars Day, like May the 4th, or the anniversary of the original Star Wars film. Like, that seems like an appropriate date, but this just feels really random. I mean, it's a Tuesday afternoon. Just, again, not saying I'm not happy about it. I'm just saying, like, it's an odd time to announce it. But I think part of it might just be because they're going to start doing they're doing a table read, I think, either today or... No, they're doing a read-through today, and I guess here's the thing. They're doing a read-through of the film today, right now as we speak. Actually, it might have happened already. Because I remember there was some news that all the original Star Wars actors, Hamill, Fisher, and Ford, were all down in Pinewood, London, where Episode 7 was going to be filmed. So obviously something was going to break sooner. So maybe they're announcing it now just in case, like, it leaked out. Like, they wanted to announce it before it could leak. But with that being said, let's get to the cast, which cast is good. Like, I'm pretty happy with how the cast turns out. In terms of how they'll be utilized in the script and stuff, that remains to be seen. But as far as the cast goes, I think it's good. First off, we have the original cast back, which, well, whether or not this is good is ultimately going to depend on how they're used. If they are just simply supporting roles, they're to connect the old trilogy to the new trilogy, that's fine. It'll be nice to see him again, but they're passing the torch. Kind of like what they did with Spock in the Star Trek reboot, or with the original characters from Avatar in Legend of Korra. Just there to connect the dots. Can play a bit of a big role if they want, but again, more of the focus on the new characters. And again, I don't want to see them do that much just because, again, it's going to be a little depressing seeing all my childhood heroes who are old and... Sorry, I had something stuck in my tongue. I just had a granola bar before recording this. So forgive me if I lick or moving my mouth around, but it's just distracting. I'm going to try not to, but... Yeah, it's just going to be a little weird and a bit depressing seeing these characters as old. I mean, remember Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and how much backlash they got just because we were seeing an old Indiana Jones? And But yeah, so maybe they're just either they're connecting them. If they're supporting roles, they should just be bridging. But if they are front and center, which I hope not, but if they are, you better have really good character for them. And oh great, my computer just went into never mind. But if you're gonna have them in a main role, make sure the characters are good and really well written so that we'll love them even if they're old. So as far as the new cast goes, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I was worried that they were going to go with A-list celebrities for this film. Like, pick really well-known actors to help sell the movie. When really, I've always been saying, you should... It's called Star Wars Episode 7. People are going to go see this regardless of who's in it. My brother, he doesn't even know who's in it. But he's planning on seeing it the midnight it comes out. He doesn't know or didn't know before he knew, or he didn't know who was in it, but he wanted to see it anyway. And also, don't let the movie... And also, this movie's going to be big, and this could be the launching point for a lot of actors, kind of like with the original Star Wars trilogy and the Star Trek movies. So you should pick lesser-known actors, and I'm grateful about the actors that they picked. Most of these people either haven't done that many movies, or the movies that they have done aren't really big movies, although they have been in Inside Llewyn Davis, which I do want to see now. Like, I might see it this weekend, and if I do, I'll post it in the films in that video I did where I said I was going to upload reviews of films I didn't see in 2013. But I'm probably going to do that. But yeah. But again, even so, Inside Llewyn Davis wasn't a huge movie. It was a small movie. I mean, it got a limited release. I mean, it was released in a local theater near me, but the local theater that I get usually gets films that have limited releases, like Grand Budapest Hotel. But yeah, so again, not well-known actors, which is nice. The one actor I am really excited that's in this movie is Andy Serkis. And if you don't know who Andy Serkis is, go watch Lord of the Rings. He plays Gollum. He does a phenomenal job giving great motion capture, and I loved his performance as Gollum. And I'm only going to assume that the reason why he's here is because they're planning some sort of motion capture creature for new Star Wars. And what better person to play motion capture than perhaps the greatest motion capture person of all time, Andy Serkis. His performance as Gollum was my favorite part of Lord of the Rings. The scene with Gollum in Hobbit is my favorite part of The Hobbit. I haven't seen the first Planet of the Apes prequel. I have it recorded on my DVR, and I'm going to see it when I get back from college. But I'm sure Andy Serkis is amazing in that, and I'm really happy that you have such a talented actor in the new Star Wars. So yeah, I'm happy with the cast, and it has me optimistic, but at the same time, I'm not, and yeah, oh yeah, by the way, Red Letter Media, the guys who do the blanket reviews that bash the prequels, they said it seems like the people making these movies care, but I digress. So, yes, the cast is good, but that doesn't necessarily mean the movie is going to be good. And you're like, but Jacob, how? Oh yeah, my real name's Jacob, but I don't think Jacob's a really common name, so I don't think I'm giving away anything too personal. But so anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but Jay Star Wars 360, how could you bash Episode 7 when you just praised the cast? Well, here's the thing: just because a film has a really good cast does not mean the film will be good. If there's bad directing and bad script, the movie is going to suck. The actors can do the best they can with the bad script and directing, but the movie will still suck. Like, for example, the Star Wars prequels. There was a really good cast for those films. I mean, there were a lot of really talented actors in the film who had both been in amazing stuff and would go on to amazing stuff. But and you could see some of them really trying to make the best of their material, but the film still sucked. Samuel L. Jackson, really talented actor. He's in Pulp Fiction, which I haven't seen yet, but I keep hearing it's wonderful. Or he's Nick Fury. He's awesome there. He's giving a good performance as Mace Windu, the movie still sucks. Christopher Lee, phenomenal actor. I love him in Lord of the Rings as Saruman. He's doing a nice job in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith as Count Dooku, but his character is still weak. He's not an interesting villain. And while it is awesome to have this great actor playing him, the character still sucks. Or Natalie Portman. She won an Oscar for Best Actress in Black Swan. And she also played Padme, the really boring character from the prequels. I could go on. Liam Neeson. Schindler's List. Schindler's List. Ra's al Ghul from Batman, most recently. Non-stop. And he plays Qui-Gon Jinn, who is a character that, if you see Plinkett reviews, you know that this is a character that's hard to describe. My point is that even this film had a really good cast, but the film was still terrible. And what's ultimately going to determine, actually this is always what determines whether or not a movie's good or bad, is the script. How's the writing, the characters, the story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening, and it doesn't matter like how great of a cast you have or what kind of film it is. If the script sucks, the movie's going to suck. Doesn't matter what kind of impressive visuals or acting you pull through, the movie will still suck. Now, that being said, I am optimistic seeing that J.J. Abrams, I do like his directing style, and Lawrence Kasdan is a good writer, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I'm kind of getting into what I'd say and on my thoughts going into episode 7 review, but again, it's Lawrence Kasdan hasn't written anything big since, in the end, since Empire and Jedi, and Abrams is writing it. I don't know if he's that great of a writer, but again, we'll get into that when I do my thoughts going into episode 7 in a year and a half. But yeah, so again, I'm really happy with the cast. Hopefully the film is good, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the cast of episode 7. If you have anything to add, please share in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear your opinion. And I would say like, dislike, comment, subscribe, but I don't want to sound like a broken record. But I just did. Anyway, this is JStars360, and may the Force be with you, along with the cast of the new Star Wars movie.